Hello guys, today we are going to learn HTML from basic to pro level and uses of AI in coding using prompt. Let's get started. Most beginners think learning web development is complicated, but here is the truth. Every website you visit, Google, YouTube, Instagram, starts with just HTML. No frameworks, no libraries, just simple tags. And in the next 20 to 25 minutes, you will go from knowing nothing about HTML to understanding the core structures behind every website. By the end, you will build your first web page from scratch. Let's begin. Now, basically, what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is not basically a programming language. It is a markup language used to structure content on a web page. Think of HTML like the skeleton of a human body. The skeleton does not add color or movement, but it gives the entire body its structure. Similarly, HTML gives structure to a website. It defines things like headings, paragraphs, images, links, buttons. Without HTML, a browser would simply see plain text with no organization. HTML tells the browser this is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is an image. That's how websites becomes readable. Now let's look at the basic syntactical code of basic HTML. So you can see first you need to install the Visual Studio Code editor. So to install it, I have given the link in the comments and description, or you can just directly search it in the Google of Visual Studio Code latest version, and you can install it for Windows and Mac version, depends on your usage. And after downloading and installing, it looks like that. So first you need to click on open folder. After clicking open folder, you need to create one folder first, and you need to select that folder, and you need to set that. After that, you need to click on introduction. Like first you can just create new file. Like I have created new file like introduction.html. I am clicking that file. So first let's write some basic code of it now. Now let's quickly understand what's happening here. First, the line doc type HTML. You can see the doc type HTML. This actually tells the browser that the document is an HTML document. And the second one is HTML tag. This is the root of the entire web page. And the next one is head tag. The head contains information about the page like the title and the title tag. The title tag is this text actually appears on the browser tab. And the body tag. Body tag, this is where all the visible content goes. And the H1 tag, this creates a main heading. And the paragraph tag, this contains a paragraph. Even a simple web page is built from these basic tags. So our next concept is HTML tags and elements. Now let's discuss about HTML tags and elements. An HTML tag is the keyword wrapped in angle brackets. For example, H1. But an element includes opening tag, content, closing tag. Like you can see an example as H1 hello, H1 tag closing. Basically, H1, the starting H1 is an open tag, and hello is the content inside that will look on the browser, and the next H1 is the closing tag. Together, they form an HTML element. Most HTML elements follow this structure, but some elements are self-closing like images. We will see that very soon. Now let's look at some basic code written on the browser. on the VS Code editor. So let's see the code. Here we have two HTML elements. The H1 element creates a main heading. The P element creates a paragraph text. Browser reads these tags and understand how to display content properly. So now let's run it on the browser. To run it on the browser, you need to click on extensions as you see in the left side. You need to click on extensions and you need to type live server here. So when you click on live server, you need to install it. I have already installed, so it shows uninstall. After installing, just restart the Visual Studio Code and just right click on the file and click on open with live server. When you click on open with live server, this gets opened on the browser. So this is how it opens. The URL looks like this. It starts like this. Automatically it creates the URL and it opens like this. The header contains text like this and the paragraph text like looks like this. So let's move to the next topic now. Basically, H1 is the largest and the H6 is the smallest here in the heading session. Now the next topic is about text, links, images, lists. And here let's discuss about first headings and paragraphs. Now that you understand the structure of HTML, so let's start building actual content. The first thing every web page needs is text. HTML provides heading tags and paragraph tags to organize text. Headings are used for titles and session names. HTML provides 6 heading levels. The H1 is the largest and most important heading, and H6 is the smallest heading. Search engines and browsers also use headings to understand the structure of your content. Then we have paragraphs. Paragraphs are created using the P tag. These are used for normal text content on a web page. Let's see how it works in code level. Now let's write the basic code of it on the Visual Studio Code editor. Now I have written the code. Now let's understand this step by step. The H1 tag creates the main title of the web page, and the H2 tag here represents a subsection heading, and H3 tag represents a smaller subsection. Then we use P to write paragraph text under those headings. This structure helps both users and search engines understand the page. So now let's move ahead to the next topic. Now let's talk about something that makes the internet actually work. Link tag. Links allow users to navigate between web pages. In HTML, links are created using the anchor tag. The anchor tag looks like this, A. But the important part of a link is the href attribute. The href attribute tells the browser where the link should go. For example, you can link to another web page, a file, or an external website. Let's see an example of the link tag as well. Here what's happening. A creates a link element. href equal to https://www.google.com tells the browser where the link should go. The text visit Google is what users actually click. When someone clicks this text, the browser opens the Google website. So let's see how it looks on the browser now. I'm right clicking and I'm selecting open with live server. So let's click on visit Google now. As you see, it redirects to Google. So let's move to the next topic now. Websites would be boring without images. HTML allows you to display images using the image tag. The image tag looks like this, img. But Unlike most tags, the image tag is self-closing. It does not need a closing tag. The most important attribute for images is SRC. SRC stands for source. It actually tells the browser where the image file is located. Another important attribute is alt text. Alt text describes the image. So now let's see the code how it actually looks. Here this is the code. Now let's break it down. IMG tag creates the image element. src equal to image.jpg, which actually tells the browser where the image file is located. Alt equal to beautiful landscape. It actually describes the image in case it fails to load. Search engines also use alt text to understand image content. So now let's run on the browser. Now let's keep the real image. I have copied the image link from the browser. Now I am pasting here. Now let's run it on the browser and let's see how it looks on the browser. So to run on the browser, you need to right click and select open with live server. When I click on this, so it displays one image here as I place the image link. So this is how the image tag works. Now the next topic is about lists. Sometimes you need to show information in organized points. That's where list comes in. HTML provides two types of lists. There are order list and unordered list. An ordered list uses numbers and an unordered list uses bullet points. Let's look at both with the syntax in the Visual Studio Code or editor. This is the basic syntax of an unordered list and ordered list. Actually, UL creates an unordered list. Each item is written inside LI. LI represents list items. And OL creates an ordered list with numbers. This actually helps organize list content clearly. Now let's run it on the browser and let's see how it works. First, we need to save the file by clicking Ctrl S, and you need to right click on the file and you need to select open with live server. So you can see displays two sites like my skills with bullet points and learning steps with 1, 2, 3. This is order list and this is unordered list. So let's move to the next topic. Until now, our web page only displays information, but real websites also need to collect information from users. For example, login pages, sign up pages, search bars, contact forms. All of these are built using HTML forms. A form is created using the form tag, FORM tag. Inside the form, we place input fields where users can type information. Example includes like the text inputs or email inputs or password fields, buttons. Forms are like the bridge between the user and the website. Now let's look at some of the basic code to write the form. And this is the basic syntax of the form. So let's break it down. First, the form tag. This actually creates the form container. And next, label tag. This actually displays text describing the input field. Next, input tag. It actually creates an input box where the user types data, and the type equal to text actually creates a normal text field. Type equal to email ensures the user enters a valid email format. Button actually creates a submit button. Forms are basically essential for user interaction on websites. Now let's run it on the browser and let's see how it looks. Let's right click on the file and click on open with live server. Make sure you save the file. So this is how it looks. You can type the content here and you can type the content in both sides. This is how it works. Now let's move to the next topic. Now the next topic is HTML tables. Sometimes we need to display structured data. For example, student marks, product pricing, schedules, reports. For this, HTML provides tables. A table organizes information into rows and columns, just like in spreadsheets. HTML tables uses several tags. The table actually creates the table, and tr tag actually defines the row, and th tag actually defines a header cell, and td tag actually defines a data cell. Now let's see how it works in the Visual Studio Code editor by writing the basic code. Now this is the basic syntactical code of the table form. So let's break it down. First, the table tag. It actually creates the table container, and the tr tag, which actually represents a table row, and the th tag. It actually defines header cells, and the td tag. It actually defines data cells. This structure allows browsers to display organized information clearly. So let's run it on the browser and let's see how it looks on the browser end. Let's right click and click on open with live server. You can see here it describes in an order. Now the name is placed in this order, and age is placed in this order, and the role is placed in this order. So to maintain the data in an organized way, we use the tables. And then let's move to the next topic. Now the next topic is about embedding media like the video and audio. Modern websites are not just about text and images. They also include videos and audio. HTML allows us to embed media directly using the video and audio tags. This means you can place a video player directly inside your web page. The two main tags are video and audio. These tags allow users to play media without leaving the website. Let's see an example now. Now let's write the basic code of it actually. Now as you see, this is the basic syntactical code of the video. So let's break it down. The video tag here actually creates a video player. Width equal to 400 actually controls the size of the player. And the controls here actually adds play, pause and volume buttons. The source tag here actually specifies the file location and format. This allows users to watch videos directly on the web page. So now let's run it on the browser and let's see how it looks. Right click on it and we're running on the browser. And you can see you can play it on the browser directly without leaving the web page. So this is how the video tag works. Now let's move to the next topic, that is audio tag. Now let's add audio. Now actually HTML allows us to embed audio players which are actually useful for podcast, music, voice instructions, educational narration. We do this using the audio tag. Now let's move ahead and see how the audio tag works in the Visual Studio Code editor. As you see here, this is the basic code of audio tag. Now let's look at it by understanding what every piece of code works here. Audio tag actually here creates an audio player on the web page. And the controls here actually adds play, pause and volume controls. And the source tag actually here defines the audio file location. In this example, we actually use a public MP3 sample from SoundHelix, which is actually commonly used for testing audio players. Now let's run it on the browser and let's see how it looks. Let me run it on the browser. Yeah. Now let's move to the next topic. Now the next topic is semantic HTML, and we are going to discuss about the best practices and final recap of all the things. So, first, the semantic HTML. In the earlier days of web development, developers used a lot of generic div tags for everything. The problem here is actually this browser couldn't understand what the content actually meant. So HTML introduced semantic tags. Semantic tags describes the meaning of the content, not just the layout. For example, header, top section of the page, nav, navigation menu, main tag, the main content of the page, and session. The session tag actually contains the content sessions, and the article tag actually it acts as a standalone content, and the footer tag actually is the bottom section of the tag. This tag actually makes websites more readable, accessible, and SEO friendly. Now let's look at the basic syntactical code of the semantic HTML as well. This is the basic of semantic HTML code. Now let's look at the code step by step. First, the header tag defines the top section of a web page, and the nav tag it actually contains navigation links, and the main tag it actually contains the primary content, and the section tag it actually groups related content, and you can see the article tag it actually represents independent content like blog posts, and the footer tag it actually contains the copyright or content information. This structure actually helps search engines understand your page, screen readers assist visually impaired users, and developers maintain clean code as well. Now let's look at the basic HTML best practices. Now let's talk about some of the best practices. Beginners often write HTML that works but become messy very quickly. Professional developers follow a few simple rules. First, you should always use proper indentation. This makes code readable. Second, use meaningful tags instead of too many div elements. Third, always include alt text for images. This actually helps accessibility and SEO. And the fourth one is keep your structure clean. Messy HTML becomes impossible to maintain as project grows. Let's see the basic code example how to not write and how to write as well. Here the both examples work, but the second one here is clear and more meaningful. Clean HTML becomes extremely important when working on larger projects. Now let's have the clean recap of all the things we have done. Yeah. In just 20 minutes, you learn the core foundation of HTML. You learn HTML structure, headings and paragraphs, links and images, lists, forms, tables, audio and video, semantic HTML. This is the foundation of every website on the internet. But HTML alone only provides structure. Next comes the CSS and JavaScript. CSS actually adds design and JavaScript adds interactivity. If you master these three technologies, you can build real modern websites. So now open a code editor and start writing the code by creating a HTML file and start building the pages. Now let me tell you how to use AI to write the code of the basic HTML. Now I have given the prompt here like act as a HTML instructor and front-end developer. Generate one complete HTML file that demonstrates the core HTML concepts by mentioning the rules I need, and I have written the structure here, and I have mentioned like use semantic layout, and I have mentioned like inside the page you should demonstrate this HTML concepts, and I have given the video link and audio link, and I have mentioned use proper indentation and HTML comments for each session, and I have mentioned like written a clean professional HTML demo page suitable for beginners learning HTML. I will drop the notes and prompt as well in the description or the comments. So please do check it out. So here is the code it written. It contains all the HTML elements and the header section and the title section and the navigation links and an order list concepts and the session concepts and the article concepts. Every topic is covered here very clearly. So please do check the code by running on the prompt by running on the chat GPT. So when I click on the run preview, so it displays how it runs while we click on the live server. Actually we see it displays the same way. Here you can see it displays all the content here, all the structure, and you can see I'm clicking on the media, it is going to the media and displays the sample audio and the contact form here. So it displays every content as I described. So learning code or HTML or anything in the code level is very easier nowadays. So please do follow for more content like this, and we are going to learn CSS as well in the coming sessions. So please do stay tuned. Thank you for your time. Thank you guys.